boy Matthew Wolff, baby.
It's a good day. It's a real good day.
It's a great day, man. Great fucking day.
Wow. I mean, I did not think it was going in. I know we're jumping right into it right now, but I did not think that putt was going to go in from up there. And
in my head, like, I was like, man, like, I don't want to say I knew it was going in, but like I had a sneaking suspicion
Yeah.
that I was going to go in, and I was just hoping. So it might have been more hope than
It's on.
yeah, it's on. It might have been more hope than anything that I was feeling, but but we erupted when that went in.
Yeah, I mean, that was the loudest I had gotten since probably Tiger at the Masters this year. Like,
Yeah.
I was so hyped.
Dude,
I mean, that's
stoked.
so sick, man. Like, I don't think people realize how crazy that was. Like, the fact of the matter is that this kid less than 7 weeks ago was a sophomore in college, and they kept throwing like, oh, he's a rookie. No, he's a professional golfer that's on special exemptions for just being him. Like, this kid hasn't been on the web yet. He hasn't done any other professional starts. He just locked up his tour card with his third start ever. Like,
Well, he started at Waste Management, so I guess it'd be fourth.
okay, yeah, third start of this season, or I guess, it's still this season, but yeah, so fourth start, third start as a professional.
And he fucking takes it home, baby.
Fucking so crazy. And then the fact that Colin Morikawa was in the mix there at the end, he
awesome.
tied for second
It
with
was just
Bryson.
the two rookies or whatever you want to call them.
That was a great Sunday of golf.
New age of golf.
Yeah.
Coming in strong this
Yeah,
week.
the future of golf is bright.
And if you didn't watch the tournament, we're talking about the 3M Open. It was up in Minnesota,
Yeah.
in the Twin Cities, I guess, right? If I'm pretty sure.
The land of many lakes.
Yeah, many lakes and many wolves.
Only one wolf of note, though.
Yeah.
But that was a perfect Sunday of golf. It had heroes, it had villains, it had underdog stories, literally dogs. And it was honestly awesome. I know that all these guys are young, but it kind of felt like it was the young versus the old. I know Bryson's very young on tour, but considering he has 5 or 6 professional tour wins, he definitely felt like the heavy hitter, the favorite, and the veteran that was going to get it done. And it's just so sweet to see that these 3 kids, even Hovland was in the mix. He finished minus 15. It's so cool to see these kids that are, just brand new, fresh off the boat, like just destroying it. Like, I'm so stoked for the future of golf. This Sunday was awesome. You had these guys putting up numbers. You had Bryson, who kind of, for me, plays a really cool villain for golf, and he's kind of Patrick Reed-esque to me. It was cool to see him put in a fucking amazing shot on 18, that approach.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. That shot he hit in on 18 over the water.
Yeah.
Big draw in, stopped like 7
and then
feet away,
yeah,
6 feet away.
Sinks the eagle putt.
Yeah. And he knew it was going in before it went in because he started celebrating early. Even.
Yeah.
But he thought he was going into a playoff at the minimum.
Yeah. And I mean, it was sweet to see that. It was also sweet to see Adam Hadwin, who I do like as a golfer, kind of the carefree Canadian, getting some crazy up and downs going, putting himself in the mix as well, putting a number up, and just sitting in the clubhouse with the lead. You had Wyndham Clark losing his shit out there, which was
fuck Wyndham, man. Wyndham threw a club a few too many times.
I don't like it when he's in the mix because it's almost like collateral advertisement from Wyndham Hotels and their stupid rewards thing for when you finish the regular season, you get like $5 million.
But
I
mean, the guy was just hitting the ball like shit off the tee and was just somehow getting a lucky break or making it happen and scraping up some pars, even birdies sometimes.
I think for every time when you clearly are letting go of the club like that, you get fined. It happened 3 times in like 10 holes. Like, some of those clubs got like halfway to the crowd. Like, if it slipped out any earlier, like he could have hit someone with his club. It's just like, Find his ass now, please, so he
Yeah.
stops that shit.
It was a little excessive. I mean, I can understand that one time in a tournament, maybe, but
Yeah.
4 times around.
I've just been almost hit by clubs like that too much, just as it is playing recreationally. That when that shit happens, like from a professional that has complete control over their freaking clubs. That, yeah, it's not funny that you did that. Like,
Yeah.
but that was cool. That was still cool to see like that kind of like chaos a little bit.
I mean, at one point there were 6 people tied for 17 under.
Yeah,
And all tied in first, and on the back 9.
Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly. It's interesting seeing that, but I think it's too much. It's too much clustered for CBS to follow because they're terrible at showing golf shots.
At one point, they missed Matthew Wolff's
birdie putt,
yeah,
and one of his birdie putts that he missed.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane that they're so bad at their broadcast in that sense. That like, you have 3 groups out on the course and you're missing shots. How does that happen? Like, I don't want to understate the difficulty of doing a golf broadcast. I'm sure it's extremely difficult. I don't know everything that goes into it. But I would imagine the bar that they set for themselves is at least, like, let's get the leaders' shots, and we'll work our way down from there. Like...
Yeah, I feel like some of that might have been that they were just such young newcomers to the tour. Like, they were still trying to get the shots of the other guys. That's what I kind of took from it, because they're like showing guys that were like a shot or 2 back, like their putts, and it's like, why are you showing these putts when the leaders have?
Yeah, I just don't think there's an
Putts for
excuse when
birdie.
it's clearly like he's the solo leader.
No,
Or that
I don't
got him
think
the
there
solo
is
lead.
either. But I think that's the only explanation.
If you want to give them a reason for why they did it,
Yeah.
but I think they're just, I think they're just neglectful.
Yeah.
Negligent, whatever you would call it.
Yeah, I don't really know. All I know is I was pissed when we missed that birdie putt from Wolff.
Yeah. And I think it should be said that we're going to talk about the Open as well. We just came off of this emergency start to this. Because
welcome back to Out of the Rough, guys. We came in a little hot, pretty pumped from the Matthew Wolff win.
I mean, this was minutes ago, so it's we're still riding high.
We weren't even planning on fucking doing this, but we figured since the boy Wolff got a win and we're going to the Open, we might as well do a podcast and do a little pre-Open because we won't really have time to do another podcast before we leave.
And I'm sure you and I feel the same way that this feels like just the beginning, obviously. Like it's his
For
third
Wolff?
stall. Yeah, that like this just validates all of us saying like this kid's going to destroy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but
you were early on the bandwagon. You got one of the early adopter, like if this was a plane that was boarding, like there were still first class seats like on this plane.
Yeah, I was in the first row on first class. Maybe not the first row, but second row.
Yeah. He wasn't
in college.
He wasn't
yet.
in college yet when you found him.
Yeah.
So, granted,
not like I found the kid, but like in our group of friends and stuff that talk.
You were the
golf.
first one talking about Matthew Wolff.
Yeah.
He was either a junior or senior in high school.
Yeah. And obviously he stood out because of his swing, and I really liked his motion and just was stoked on his fucking ball contact, like really pumped on it. But I
he
just
was
had
like
a
a
feeling
junior-
he was going to be fucking good, man.
Well, he was like a junior in high school, and you watched his like driver numbers getting like 178 ball speed. You're just
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? This kid's like 16.
Yeah.
But I think there's a difference, and the reason why this feels so important to me, because I mean, if we really want to poke holes in this, like the field was very weak, the course really lended itself to being bomb and gouge, and he just hits it so damn far, and he played incredible golf, he putted his ass off, but I think it should be said that he's clearly just as good as Hovland, and Hovland was contending with the best at the U.S. Open, so like these kids are not going anywhere. And we should have just shot the Big Three podcast now, because the real Big Three is Morikawa, Hovland, and Wolff, and it covers all the main continental groups. We've got Europe, we've got Asia, we've got America. Like,
yeah, and that's obviously in a jokingly manner, but yeah, these kids are really good and are going to be around in the mix for sure.
I think I compare it to Spieth and JT. I may have said this on the podcast already, but I think of Hovland and Wolff like Spieth and JT and what they're going to bring to the game. Maybe even more so. Fingers crossed that they can generate that hype that we want and have some personalities to get around because we're going to need it. We're going to need some superstars. Hovland's got to open his damn eyes for people to really see him.
Yeah,
and,
the guy...
And just so we can connect with him because right now...
The guy can barely see out there. Like, he's working with, like, 60% of what most people can
unless
see.
he gets like a 8-figure deal from Planet K, he needs to start opening his eyes.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that is hilarious.
But I'm so stoked for them. I hope they continue to kind of be a presence out there. I'm psyched that means Wolff will be in the Masters.
Yeah. I'm stoked that he's got his tour card for 2 years. Like, I really didn't want to see him go down to, like, the Web.
You would have been like, if I had to watch the freaking Corn Ferry tour.
Fuck, man.
Well, I like watching the Corn Ferry or Web or whatever it was, but I get that, like, working, like, it's like you only have so much time, so it's hard to keep up the beat. But yeah, he's gonna be so fun to watch. Like, his game is so exciting. He clearly makes stuff happen. He's got the clutch gene. Like, that putt on 18 proves that he has a clutch gene.
Yeah.
Like, I was a little worried when he got the MDF. Like, I was like, geez, like, let's go,
that was
man.
the first tournament.
Second one.
Well, after Waste Management.
No, I think MDF was. It wasn't the Travelers, was it? Because Travelers was his first start turning professional.
I'm not sure, but yeah, he had an MDF in there.
Yeah, neither of us know for sure. We'll just say that he did MDF.
One of his last 2 events.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just tried to forget completely about that. But
I mean, it's all good. I think he's in a great spot. I think this was all the validation that he needed. It'll be interesting when he sees himself kind of playing against the
big boys.
The big boys. Bryson is one of the big boys. Honestly, he is. So knowing that he had to eagle to beat Bryson to not go into a playoff, like, he's got the clutch gene. I don't want to keep reiterating it, but I'm so excited to keep seeing what they're doing, and I don't want to, make that any less clear than I am now. Like, I'm hyped, and we can stop talking about the 3M because I'm sure half the people that are listening to this podcast are like, yeah, we didn't watch. I was outside.
You guys should have been watching because it's the beginning of a good career.
I mean, agree, but like, go enjoy your 4th of July weekends.
Yeah. I mean, it was a small portion of the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
But
if you watch,
I didn't watch any of the tournament up until Wolff's like 5th hole.
Yeah.
On Sunday. I watched the highlights from yesterday when he shot the 9 under, which was the course record, which was insane.
Yeah.
But
the fact that he kept stopping and putting balls like 6 feet away from flags from the rough is just insane.
Yeah.
Like, he just hit it out there with his driver, and he's like, I'm in rough. That's okay. I'll just put it up in the air. We'll be all right. And it was crazy. And to think that if Bryson didn't chunk that chip, he would have been in a playoff with Wolff.
Oh, yeah. That was one of the first things we saw today.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bryson went to chip.
But would he have been as aggressive with the eagle attempt if he...
Who knows? You can't speculate, really.
Morikawa's insane lip out in that par 3.
Yeah.
Where the ball was halfway in the cup and it
Yeah.
lipped back out after doing a 180. That was crazy, too.
And then Wolff caught that, the break that winners catch with his 3-wood.
Yeah, you were saying that, when his ball didn't go in the water, it was in the rough. Or that's the kind of break that a winner gets.
Yeah. And I was just saying that to try to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, like keep manifest positivity.
Yeah.
As you were saying. Yeah, I mean, I'm still reeling from it. It happened just a moment ago, so you're still kind of settling with the idea this is so cool, a guy that we've been rooting for a really long time that we hope big things would happen for them, but we wouldn't know for sure. Maybe he would kind of falter. Mm-hmm. But gosh, he came out firing. I mean, and people will compare this to Cameron Champ, but it's just not the same thing. He was on the web for a full year before he got onto the tour, got his card. And yes, his second start on tour, he won it, but it was with an even weaker field in at Sanderson. Because, I mean, technically Brooks was in this field. And granted, Brooks PGA Tour is different from Brooks and majors, but Brooks was in this field.
But he is the definition of a big boy.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
I get
He
it.
is one of the big boys.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was a super weak field, but it wasn't like all the upper echelon guys are in there.
Yeah. He had a difficult enough field to feel like he had more to overcome there than Champ had at Sanderson.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing against Sanderson or against Cameron Champ's win, but you'll just hear those comparisons fly out for the next week, and they're just two different wins.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think Wolff will have a better career than Cameron Champ.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect.
Yeah. He likes Cameron Champ. He's actually been an advocate of him. But yeah, I agree. I mean, Wolff is one of my boys. I'm in his pack.
It was just me, and then I met Doug, and then I met you two, and now our pack has grown to 4.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it's my boy Rick. He's the head man of the pack. There's Brooks.
You can't give him head of the pack.
Who thinks he's the head of the pack. And then there's me, who just likes to keep things clean for all the other wolves. I walk around.
You're the water boy.
Yeah, I'm the water boy, dude. Make sure all the guys are taken care of. Make sure they got everything they need. And then I just
Root 'em
maybe
on.
crack a joke here and there.
Yeah.
Maybe make them laugh.
Keep it light.
And then there's the new cub on the street, Wolff, Matthew Wolff, who might just become the elder someday.
So
we strictly are at war against the Tigers.
Oh, so it's a 4-man wolf pack. You're one of the men in the wolf pack.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not just like kind of an osprey or like a bird that kind of hovers above them and
I'm
watches? Or
I mean, I could be like that. I might be also just like a runt. Like I might be like a wolf fucked like a dog, and I'm like a wolf hybrid.
yeah, you're like as it kind of worked its way away.
Like they don't really want me in the pack, but for some reason I'm there. You know.
They're just like yeah, don't pay any attention to him.
He's all right. Sometimes he's funny.
Yeah,
That's why we keep him around.
Yeah, he said he's related to us, but we're not really sure. We're pretty sure he's not.
But for some reason, he's been here long enough to where we don't really say anything now.
And he believed into some of us pretty early. And you were. A lot of people talk about stocks and talk about real estate. They're like, oh, I've got all this real estate on Gary Woodland Island, and I really cashed it in. The real estate's doing well after the U.S. Open. But, I mean, you did buy real estate and stock early with Brooks. You bought it early with Wolff. Like,
I mean, there was
you bought late with Ricky, and you've been holding, though.
Yeah, I did buy late with Ricky. I didn't even catch Ricky in his, 15 year. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even catch him like when peak Ricky was happening, where everyone's like, "Oh, he's the future of golf."
Yeah, but I did buy a whole shitload of land in the Matthew Wolff neighborhood, and there was no one even buying any land.
Yeah, it was just kind of like
I could have bought the whole neighborhood, but I didn't. I didn't want to be greedy.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a pasture land. There was like maybe 2 or 3 houses like you could see in the distance. But you're like, this 4-acre lot, I'll buy it.
They might have been in a different neighborhood even. I'm not even sure if they were in the Wolff neighborhood.
But, yeah, you bought real estate.
It could have been the back end of the Tiger neighborhood. I'm not sure.
I don't think their neighborhoods are close.
I mean, his neighborhood's huge, man. You don't know how big that thing stretches.
Yeah, the development for Tiger real estate it's expanded quite a bit, even recently.
Yeah.
A lot of people sold their house during the scandal, and for me, I knew the market would bubble, would rise back.
It could have been some guest house or something from the Tiger neighborhood, in the back of some property. I'm not sure. It could have been a shed.
Yeah, it was someone's shed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also your other showing, you were in early on Bryson too.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got some investments that are paying off nicely.
Yeah, I don't want to say I can see talent, but because I mean I haven't been watching golf for that long, but I don't know. I go off of
Personalities and swings mostly.
personality and swings and just impact and what what the ball sounds like, as weird as that sounds when they hit it.
Yeah.
Like just yeah. And yeah, just the way they look on the course and the way they play. Like I was drawn to Bryson because of the one length irons and how he played, how it was so unique,
Yeah.
and just his career as an amateur. So he was good, and I mean the first time I saw him, like I didn't know about him in his college or anything. I saw him play at the Masters when he was an amateur, and I just really liked him.
Yeah, there was already houses in the Bryson.
Yeah, there definitely
because he had like that insane college career.
Yeah, like I went.
But
And saw
no one
I went
was-
and saw like a demo home in the Bryson neighborhood.
You're like, okay, I can see what this would be like.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get back to you.
I mean, I went as far as to get one length irons, because I like the idea of it so much.
yeah,
But, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you've made some smart real estate
Decisions.
decisions for sure. Are there any ones that haven't paid off for you? Are there any people that like you bought?
I mean, those four guys are like my guys. There's other guys that I like, but that I don't like. I'm not backing like
yeah.
every tournament.
I'm trying to think of the ones that like I've backed that just haven't.
I mean, I'm a big Spieth guy too.
Yeah,
Spieth is in that pack too. It's hard for me to like even
But he's
talk
not
about Spieth right now.
Yeah, but for me, I think it's like with Tiger and Spieth, and like at least for me, it's like everyone's a part of that team. Like it's kind of like everyone's on
You're
their.
saying like Spieth is like Tiger, like
Yeah, like
everyone
nobody.
wants Spieth.
I don't.
Yeah.
I think it's very rare for someone to be like, "Fuck Spieth." Like.
Yeah, I think there are some people like that though, like with how he acts with Greller and stuff.
Yeah,
They
there's
think he's
Greller
whi-
sympathizers
they
out there,
think
and
he's
honestly,
whi-
I'm a Greller sympathizer.
Well, they think he's whiny and bitchy. Like there are people who don't like Spieth, but I just wanted to say that like Spieth is in my pack. Like it's probably those five guys, like Spieth, fucking Ricky, Brooks, my boy Wolf, and who am I forgetting? Me. Those five. We're a pack.
Yeah, you don't put Bryson in that pack.
No. I like Bryson, and
You're in early on him.
Yeah.
But you were doing it purely for the fiscal return. It wasn't so much that like.
yeah, I bought land, knew it was going to go up in value.
Yeah, you wanted the credibility return of like I can see talent when I see talent. I know
Yeah.
it's there, but it's not like you were.
But I don't cheer for Bryson day in day out
Yeah,
like those other guys, like Jordan Brooks, Ricky, and Wolf.
yeah. I mean, if I'm trying to like recollect guys that I talked about early, it was Champ, but that was also just because like I saw him when he was in college. And I'm like, this kid is hitting it further than DJ, and he's like a sophomore in college. This is insane.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only thing I noticed, and like that's one. He's had a really struggle of a first year on the PGA. He got that win at Sanderson, but it's been up and down since then. He had that one crazy bit here recently, but he didn't close it out. Schauffele, I was early in on Schauffele before his rookie season, before he went back. He got his 2 wins his rookie season. Cantlay, I was early, but he also had a crazy season in college, and then he had a bit of a issue with personal and injuries and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I haven't made any bold like early stuff. I've been early on. I was early on Hovland. I was early on Cole Hammer. Still am. That's about it. You were obviously at Wolf before me, but Hovland. I was talking about Hovland around the same time that you're talking about Wolf. Maybe a little bit after him.
Definitely a little bit after. I think you got on the Hovland like whenever he was around when he was getting ready for the USAM and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see how that stuff appreciates. But you've definitely been the real estate mogul out of the group for sure.
It takes a little bit of gumption to make a claim like that.
Yeah.
But also you're not really losing anything if you're wrong.
Yeah.
But your credibility goes down. Like okay, is that just another one of your guys that you're going to say is going to be good and not good?
Yeah, but you really haven't had any like flame out on you.
Well, that's
Honestly,
what I'm saying. That's why
You've-
like my credibility is high right now.
Like your
but I'm-
efficiency rating on choosing your stuff, like.
But I'm due for someone like that. But I want to try to make sure I keep my. I just got to go with my gut, like I have been. Like that
Yeah.
guy looks fucking good. Like.
Yeah. I would even say that, like, honestly, like, I know this is a long pause. I'm just trying to think. Obviously, Bryson was already kind of like a sure thing just with how good his college season was. But, yeah, you were fucking right about Wolff. And today was crazy, and this is nuts. And we can start talking about Portrush. Because we're going to be there.
Yeah, we'll wrap that up on fucking the 3M, but fuck yeah, Wolf. You're the fucking man. We're all rooting for you over here, and go get you some more fucking tour wins.
I think sorry that my mic is really far away. I think he deserves something in here with just like
Yeah, well, maybe we'll get a Wolf head or something.
yeah. Not the Game of Thrones one though.
No, just
One that's
something.
very like a one that's he needs a logo. I know it's so early and people hate that people have logos, but like he just needs a wolf. Like everyone does their initials, he needs a wolf. Like,
yeah, I mean,
fuck
it
initials.
was cool that they played "Hungry Like a Wolf" too, even though that's not the best song for
No,
him. But,
Duran Duran is not the correct band for Matthew Wolff.
But I
The
like-
kid has like 188 ball speed with his driver. You don't play Duran Duran to get that point across.
You said you wanted to say something about the before we wrap up 3M, even though we just did a second ago, about the graphic on the putting green.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I don't know why they think like making a graphic as if it's a part of the environment immerses you more, or it like calls out like, oh, look at how hard we worked on this. It's like, no, it's just really distracting. And I get that like there's information there for us to see it, but like it's not even grounded in any like realism. It's like when you see bad CGI, you're just like, that's not what the shadow of something like that would look like. Like, what is this? It's so distracting. And now I want to look at Wolf, like get ready for his putt and now I'm like looking at, you could have put like a giant strawberry there or something. Like it was that distracting. And it just bothered me so much. And I hope they don't do that anymore. If they could just cut that shit out and just fire Gary McCord, I would be happy with every future CBS broadcast.
Elon Musk, SpaceX.
Yeah, I was saying that as well. I was just like, it's just free association, just whatever word pops into Gary McCord's head. He just says it. He's like, oh, he launched that straight up in the air. SpaceX, Elon Musk. Just like whatever word vomit comes out of his mouth.
He's got Tourette's, man.
I don't know what it is, but they're just broadcasting it to millions of people, and they're like, yeah, this is fine. Like, no, you've got someone who has got something wrong with them. Just, it's just crazy, and I can't detach myself from hearing it. Like, I can't ignore it. It just infiltrates my head like a virus, and it just corrodes me from the inside. And maybe that's what they want. Maybe CBS just wants to watch the world burn. I don't know, but they're doing a great job.
But yeah, that'll be it. Wolfie, my man, congrats. And we're going to get into Royal Portrush and the Open Championship.
Yeah, I know you don't have any of these yet, but like eventually for the podcast you could have like those little audio transmissions like boo-doo-boo-doo, no. It's like you start a new section of talk.
I'm going to fucking cut that audio piece out that you just made and make that the fucking thing.
I think your laugh that followed it was a little bit too early, but maybe it'll work.
Yeah, I don't know, but that would be tight.
Okay, yeah, the Open. It's coming to Royal Portrush in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, and we're going to be there fucking for probably 2 or 3 of the days, which will be tight.
Yep.
But
I'm going to be yelling in Brooks's backswing.
fuck don't, man. He's
I
going to whoop you up.
Yeah, I'm doing it purely for the ass whooping. I
want to get a lawsuit.
No, I would. It's not even fun to joke about. I would never do that.
You fucking started it, bro.
I know.
But yeah, man. Any opening takes or?
The golf course is sick. I'm so excited to watch Links Golf, the European Tour at La Hinch was sick this week. I really don't have.
I didn't even pay any attention to the Irish Open. I should have been, but
It's just refreshing to watch, and just with the Open coming up, you have a lot of guys that normally aren't playing the European Tour playing it, and we need more links golf, man. Like, we need to figure out a world tour that takes us out of fucking America and to some different golf courses, because I really miss watching different kinds of golf, because watching Parkland golf this week is as cool as it was for the characters that were going on in the tournament. It was just boring. It was really boring golf. Like, Matthew Wolff killed it, but it was driver into rough, wedge next to the flag, driver into rough, wedge next to the flag. Like, watching those guys play La Hinch was sick, and it's just a different game, and it honestly is like a much more interesting game to watch. I'm so excited for the Open. I've said it a bunch of times to this podcast that it's my favorite major. It'll be sick to watch it in person. I think the atmosphere is going to be rad.
we need to figure out our move there. Like, if we're gonna just post up at a hole, because I've heard that crowds at majors are just impossible to like try to follow someone. So if we want to,
Yeah, who knows? I don't really know yet. We'll have to figure it out when it gets closer to the time.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a period where I'm going to try to watch like a 5, 6, 7 hole stretch of somebody just to watch them kind of plot their way around a little bit. I'll pick someone kind of smaller, though. I will try to pick someone like I don't know, like a Tiger maybe. No,
He'll probably have one of the smaller crowds out there, I would imagine.
Probably the smallest. No, I'll try to pick someone. I don't want to say Schauffele won't have a crowd, but someone like a Schauffele, like maybe watch a Finau or watch a Fleetwood, even though he's
probably gonna have a decent crowd.
Yeah, but he's from England. He's not from Northern Ireland.
But still, he's a Euro. Like,
yeah. Or watch like a Matthew Fitzpatrick or someone that like I know will play pretty good links golf, and just watch them play a different kind of game. So I mean, I'm excited for it. I really am. Even if we weren't going to it, I would be glued to the TV.
Me too.
It's almost every year my favorite major. So my first take.
I mean, when it's here, I'm fucking up at like 4 a.m. You know, like watching.
Especially when they have the early groups that are like people that you really want to see, because it's always kind of a pain to watch sometimes, but it's always worth it. And when you do that too, is that you don't really have anything else going on. So you don't have work or anything. You don't really have anything that's getting in the way of watching it other than just like sleep. But
who needs sleep for this weekend?
Yeah, you can tough it out for a little bit. But yeah, as far as like initial takes for the Open this year and everything that's going on, outside of players, I'm really excited to watch the course. It's going to be, the conditions are going to be very contingent upon weather, as the Open commonly is, but it's going to blow. It's going to be windy, and it's about people being able to flight their ball, being able to control the wind. Really good wind players are the people that are going to thrive there. So people like Ricky, people like Spieth, people like Tiger, people that can play well with the wind, that can shape it both ways, that can play the ground game. I know that I haven't named a single Euro just then, but there's plenty of people that can do a great job of controlling their ball flight. Rory, Brooks,
Rory,
just guys that have
Fleetwood.
had previous links success. So I mean, there's a couple guys. I mean, we can start talking about like the guys that we think are going to do well there, but I'm excited for the golf course. I'm excited for it being in Northern Ireland. I'm excited for just a different crowd of people. We've kind of left that island and headed for another one. So I think it's going to be the best major of this year. And Tiger won a major this year. Brooks went back-to-back at a PGA. He almost went for a three-peat at the U.S. Open.
Gosh, that would have been so dope.
The fact that I still think that this is going to be the best major kind of says how important links golf is to me as far as watching it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, you're just trying to watch entertaining golf, and if a storyline is what causes it to be interesting, cool. Like Tiger's comeback is insane and amazing, but at the end of the day, like I need it to be paired with some amazingly entertaining golf, which at times the Masters didn't have the best, most entertaining golf with how the conditions were this year.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully every single day of this tournament is going to be completely gripping and intense and just a refreshing change of pace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope so too. I'm sure it will be. They got Brooks as the favorite at 7.5 to 1 on Bovada. I couldn't really find anywhere else that had odds up this early, but
Do you agree with that?
they got Rory at 8 to 1 right behind him.
Brooks is at 7 to 1. Is that what you're saying?
7.5 to 1.
Okay, so just a half.
Yeah. I guess I don't know.
His
I-
caddy's from there.
I know. I think out of all the majors that this is one that he doesn't have the advantages that he normally does. So I don't think it will play as much into his hand as it
Mhm.
normally does. So I don't know. It's hard to say he's not the favorite, you know? It's hard to say, he isn't because
But
he has such a good record.
Yeah, and at the U.S. Open, you said Brooks is not going to win. Are you going to say that again with this? Like, there's no way he's going to win this one.
I don't think he's going to win, no.
Okay.
But, I mean, I got as close as possible.
I know. I said last time, like, you couldn't be more wrong while still being right.
Yeah.
Are you as confident that he won't win this as you were with that one?
Yeah, if not more confident.
Okay.
But for Vegas, or Bovada or whatever you want to say, just for betting odds in general, I can understand why they have him as favorite, but I don't think he's the true favorite.
Can you read out the top 10 right quick?
Brooks, Rory, Dustin, Tiger, John Rahm, Justin Rose, The Mole, Spieth, Schauffele, Rick.
I think I agree with that. I don't know. I'm surprised Rahm is as high as he is.
Yeah. They
But-
have Rahm fifth at 14 to 1.
Where I'm trying to think. I don't have any computer for anyone who's listening or phone or anything like that, but I'm trying to think of what Rahm did at Carnoustie last year. I feel like he was in the mix, but I don't really remember. I feel like he was in the mix, though. I think he got like a top 20, and he maybe was contending at one point. But I think that's high considering how well other people have played this year and how. But I guess he's played pretty well too. I don't know. I had him as a favorite at the PGA. I had him in my group of guys selected to do well. He didn't do amazing, but then he did pretty good at Pebble for a little bit. So who knows? It's a coin toss. I think Vegas has probably put more effort into this than I have just now. But I'm surprised he's fifth.
Koepka finished 39th last year at the Open. Just for some
You
food.
mean Rahm?
No, Koepka. That's who I mean. I'm looking for Rahm right now, and I just saw Koepka's name, so I just said it.
He finished 39th, really?
Yep. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I don't think this is his best major to win. I think Brooks will win a Masters and a Masters before the Open. I know he's already obviously won the U.S. Open and the PGA.
I bet you he'll win another PGA or U.S. Open before he wins another Open.
Yeah.
Before he wins it.
I think
Open.
the Open will be his hardest major to win.
I agree.
I think
everyone would
Rahm
agree.
got cut because I'm not seeing his name.
Oh, I thought you were gonna look at like his actual profile. Yeah, I think I agree with Vegas more or less. I'd probably put Rahm further down near Ricky. But besides that sounds about right. I think with Xander's history at Carnoustie and how well he did, what his form has been in majors, I'd put him ahead of Tiger. But I understand
John
Vegas
Rahm won this week at the La Hinch Old Course.
Lahinch. Okay, so he won.
Yeah, he won this week.
He won this week, so that's why. I didn't even watch the end of it, so I just watched it during the week. I didn't even know he won.
So John Rahm's in good form, I guess.
So I mean, that's a glaring error of how much I'm paying attention to the European tour after how much I'm talking about how much I enjoyed Lahinch. But I didn't see
Yeah.
the end of it. I didn't know he won.
But yeah, he won. But
Holy
it
shit.
also doesn't look like there was very many heavy hitters.
There were a few. There was definitely a few. But no, that's sick. I didn't know he won it. So,
Yeah.
egg on my face. I think that makes sense then with what they've said. That's rad that he won it. It's great going into form for the Open, and that completely makes sense now. The world is now aligned.
I'm surprised Bovada is updated that quick.
I mean, that would have happened earlier this morning,
Yeah.
and they don't want to lose money.
True.
But yeah, that's sick. Good for him. And he won on the PJ Tour for the Zurich with Ryan Palmer, so that's 2 wins this year for him. Good. I mean, you were talking about how he needed to be talked about for possibly being a part of a big 3 when we had the other podcast, and that he has good things to come.
I mean, he's good as fuck. That's one think going back to people I called out that were going to be good. He's one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked about him before he was a pro, but I guess you don't want to give me John Rahm.
Not really.
All right.
I don't think it was that early, and I don't really think he was that. I think everyone kind of knew.
Rahm was going to be good.
Rahm was going to be good. Yeah, I'm not giving you that one.
Okay.
And honestly, like, I still think Rahm's stock really. He's the kind of company that came out and like his IPO started off already really
like
high.
GoPro, like they haven't done much since they come out.
Yeah, I would say more like he's kind of like a Lyft or like an Uber Light in the sense of like he came on the market with a very strong IPO. Like people were buying high already when he came onto the market. Like he was a private equity firm that came out pretty late after all the hype had already been kind of on him. So it was hard to buy cheap on Rahm.
Yeah,
At least
I get what you're saying.
But that's sweet. I feel really embarrassed that I didn't know he won Lahinch just now, and I think I don't really know how to reconcile
I don't really feel that bad because at the beginning I said I didn't watch any of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think it's hard to argue against Brooks with his caddy growing up there. I think it's hard to argue against Rory just with how good he's been at the Opens the last 5-6 years. And that he's been playing statistically his best golf ever right now. It's kind of crazy to think that the 2 favorites right now are Rory and Brooks, and there's really not a strong argument to make that they shouldn't win it. Whereas when you look at the favorites for majors in the past, where it's like I kind of had some reasons to suspect that DJ shouldn't win the U.S. Open at Pebble, or that I guess Tiger was the favorite for the Masters or DJ or something like that. But I had an argument for either of them to possibly not win it. But I really don't have a good argument to say that Brooks or Rory shouldn't win this Open. And do you have any solid cases for why Rory wouldn't? Just because he's just been not playing as well at the majors?
No, I think Rory's a great bet.
Even at 8-1.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get a huge bang for your buck, but I think he's going to be in the mix. So, I mean, if you're looking for someone like for a bang for your buck or something, that's a whole different story. But as far as winners go, if you're trying to pick a winner, I think Rory's a good bet.
Yeah, if you were with your friends and they asked you like, all right, who's winning this? Like you got your best shot. Who's winning this? I think it's Rory.
Nah, he hits the ball too high.
That's what I've been hearing. That's what people have been telling me. And those people are dumb.
Those people are crazy. But no, Yeah, I think he's a great bet. Who? I mean, are we gonna do our pick 3 guys thing?
Sure. It's going to be tough with me not having a screen in front of me.
I can lend you my phone if you want to.
Yeah, if you can pull up the odds for me on the phone. It's not that I need to see the odds. It's just I need to see a list of people that are in the
yeah.
Open. And it's hard for me to just like pull them off the top of my head. 3 guys. 3-man best ball across the 4 days. Do you want to put some money on it?
We can a small wager because I plan on putting some money on a few guys.
And you already have some money on this final one that you'll have to pay me if Ricky
Rick,
doesn't win it.
I have to pay you $50, right?
Yep.
If he doesn't win.
If he doesn't win.
I'm also going to put some more money on Ricky.
So how do you want to break up the 3? That
it's got to be top tier, middle tier, and lower tier.
Okay. And what would you consider to be
where middle starts?
Yeah, is that 150 to 1 or middle is
middle's probably
50 to 1?
Yeah, middle's probably 50 to 1.
Okay, middle's 50 to 1 and then 150 to 1 or 100 to 1.
Probably 100 to 1 will be the lower tier. Okay. There really is not a lot of people in this tournament.
Well, no, my guess is that this is a Bovada thing. Like, they don't have everyone on it, or
they usually have everyone on it.
It's still early.
Yeah,
I somehow
like
lost
all those
the
like
list.
Random amateurs, not amateurs, but people that qualify in.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull this. Jeez. I've like tried to mask the other ones by talking and like not acknowledging them, but that's like the 4th or 5th one.
I mean, sometimes you gotta let the beast eat, as they like to say.
I just wonder how many people that are gonna have like their earbuds in, like on their run, they just hear someone rip ass. It's like, oh, cool. That's exactly what I want to hear in my podcast. Like you don't hear like
people
you don't hear like
the realness of it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They do, man.
I'm just thinking of like whenever you are listening to like a Bill Simmons or a Joe Rogan or like the Economist or like fucking like New York Times, The Daily, and you just like hear someone just rip ass in the background. Like you think they're not gonna edit back over that?
Unedited.
I can't find golf. What the heck? How did you do this? Do you just search?
Here, I'll get it. Give it to me.
I think I can do this. I think I've got this, man.
Anyways.
I've got it back up.
Okay.
All right, so I feel like there's not a... It doesn't really matter who goes first because I feel like we're going to have a different choice for the top one.
Okay.
Because you said, like, I clearly think it's Rory. You think it's someone else. So it sounds like...
I don't not think it's Rory. I think he's a good pick. I don't think it's Brooks. It might be Rory. I don't think it's not going to be Rory. I don't think it's going to be
So do we have
DJ.
to flip for Rory, or what are we doing?
I mean, the way we've done it, like, we can pick the same guys.
I don't think we should pick the same guys. It's just you and me.
Yeah.
No, we didn't. We couldn't pick the same guys when it was me, you, and Jimmy.
Yeah, because you both picked Brooks.
No, I'm talking about the PGA when you and I when we did the 4-man best ball for that. Do you remember that? Not for the U.S. Open. That was when we just chose guys. I'm talking about when we tallied up, like when Jimmy had to give you $2 or whatever.
Okay, so we'll have different guys.
Yeah. Did you want to?
I mean, you can go first, and you can have Rory. That's fine.
I'll take Rory. But we'll snake it, so you'll get the first choice of the middle guy.
Yeah, that's fine. I guess for shits and gigs, I'm gonna take Rick.
Interesting. And so 51 is what begins this, right?
Well, you can get someone who's at 50. Like you could get Leishman or Gary Woodland if you wanted to. But I guess I get middle pick first, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go with. This is kind of tough because my gut wants to go with Kuchar, but my gut also wants to go with Graham McDowell.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only one who's actually from Portrush.
Yeah.
And he's been playing well. I feel that's going to be part of it that inspires him.
I think I'm going to go with Kuchar, though.
I'll go with Tony Finau.
All right.
And then my lower grade 100-1 choice is going to be Cameron Champ is in the Open.
Wow, I know who I'm going for.
I will go with Kisner.
Gosh, that's who I was gonna go with. I'll go with Brendan Grace.
That's fair. All right. This concludes our snake draft.
Yes, it does.
But I think we both kind of know who we think are going to be solid contenders in their different brackets. Or their different tiers. I think we both clearly see what the benefit is in Kisner. And I think this lends itself to possibly being a good spot for him.
Who was your middle guy again?
My middle guy was Tony Finau.
My middle guy was Kuchar.
If I could pick another guy anywhere on the table, I would probably pick Schauffele, him or Brooks. I think Rory is the favorite in my head. I think Brooks and Schauffele are close seconds. And after Rahm's win, I needed to watch more of Rahm. I feel like I didn't really see that much Rahm. What did he do today? Did he just come from behind? I don't even know. But I think Schauffele and Brooks are the close people that are nipping at Rory's heels in my kind of favorites category.
Mm-hmm. What about everybody's boy Tiger? How do you think he's going to fare? The guy doesn't play golf unless it's a major.
He played
Colonial.
No, he didn't play Colonial. He played the Memorial.
Oh, that's what I meant.
And he didn't even play. Doesn't he have his own? That Washington event was his, and then wasn't the Detroit one supposed to be his? But he didn't even play that. I don't know. But yeah, he hasn't played very much since then. I understand it. It's kind of like, not to make this a different sports thing, but it's like load management, which is popular in the NBA right now, is that you want to just keep yourself fresh for
I just think, how fresh is he going to be? Is he going to be so fresh that he's stale? Like,
so fresh that he's stale. That should be like a title of a title of an album or something. He tried this with the PGA. He didn't play between the Masters and the PGA. And then he played between the PGA and the US Open. It didn't go well
for him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even remember what he finished at the US Open. But
nothing.
I mean, he was kind of in the mix, wasn't he?
Not really.
I'm sliding his phone back to him right now to look up what he got at the US Open, because I feel like he had an opportunity, didn't he?
No, he didn't.
Really?
Really.
I feel like I might just be like, this is why memory. This is why
I would 21 2 under. The winning score was hold on. T21, yeah, 2 under. The winning score was 13 under.
So maybe I don't know. This is why you can't trust eyewitness accounts of anything. That's why the cops don't care if you saw anything. They don't even trust you. Because in my head, I was like, Tiger was like 2 off the lead starting Sunday, and he may have shot like, just like a couple under. And I already thought he did better than that at the U.S. Open, which is kind of a shame. No, but I think so. The U.S. Open is kind of a tough thing to kind of expect him to ever do well at, whereas the Open, I think, is going to be one of the few places that he'll continue to contend for several more years. That and the Masters.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he can't contend. What I'm saying is he needs reps. Like, I understand that he's older and his body may not necessarily...
But he played a lot last year. No, I'm trying to agree with you. Like, he played a lot last year.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, he doesn't have to play as much as last year, but it seems like he's playing a quarter of what he did play. Like,
yeah, I mean,
and I don't really
by
give
this
a
point.
shit.
By this
I'm
point,
just saying, like, as far as if for Tiger fans and people that want
but
to
here's
see
the
him
thing:
do well,
is that, like,
I don't think that he's scheduling himself out. Like, obviously, he knows his body, and I think that might be the problem. I think his body is again shutting down on him.
I don't know. This is all speculation.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Obviously, I have a good feel for golfers and players, as we've went over earlier in the podcast. And what I'm feeling is that
I get what
his
you're
body
saying.
is breaking down, bro.
Let's keep this in the context of how this year is different from last year. By this point last year, there's still only 2 majors would have passed: the Masters and the U.S. Open. Because of this consolidated schedule, it feels like more time has passed because we're already at the Open, but in reality, like, there was still a PGA to come. There was still more, there was more time for him to play more golf. He'll get back up to these number of starts after the Open, because he'll play playoffs.
You really think he's going to play a bunch more golf after the Open?
Yeah, I think he'll play. I'll bet you he plays the playoffs.
He'll play the playoffs.
But that's like 5 more events. He won't play 15 starts or whatever
Regardless,
it is.
Sure. Well, all I'm saying is if I think he needs to have at least a tournament leading up to each of the majors to get in competition mode. That's just my opinion. Going into this cold, like, you may be practicing at home and you may be hitting the range and all that, but like,
can you look at his previous starts right quick? Just look at his official World Golf Rankings. It should show you.
So his last start was at the U.S. Open, then the Memorial, PGA Championship, Masters, Match Play.
So he hasn't played in between these 2 majors. He didn't play between the Masters and the PGA. He played between the PGA and the U.S. Open, and now he's not playing between the U.S. Open and the Open. Yeah, I mean, clearly neither of them work. Using a start and not using a start. So at the end of the day, I think less is more, in the sense of, like, if doing one tournament doesn't help you enough.
But it wasn't the week before. What I'm saying is play the Irish Open, get into that time zone or that general time zone, get used to the conditions, and go fucking try to win the
Is that a good idea, though?
I think it is.
For him? Because he didn't play the week before the Masters and he won it.
If what I'm saying, what I think is right, and his body is fucking up on him, then maybe it isn't the right choice. But if they say, like, he's good to go, then I think that's what he should be doing.
But that's not what he did before he won the Masters. He didn't play the week before the Masters.
Yeah, but he played a bunch leading up to the Masters, a lot more than he has been the rest of this year, at least.
But there's more tournaments before the Masters than there are before the other ones.
There's a bunch of tournaments before they may not be bigger.
But if you spaced out the ones he did before that, so he played match play, and before that he played
his match play was the tournament before the Masters,
and then he played Riviera. Did he play?
He played
Honda?
the Players before the match play.
He played the Players. He played match play. He played Bay Hill, and he played Riviera. He played 4 tournaments before.
He played Dell match play, the Players before that, WGC Mexico before that, the Genesis before that, Farmers before that.
Oh, yeah. Did he not play Bay Hill? Oh, he didn't play Bay Hill. That's unfortunate. So over the course of 3 months, he played five tournaments. right?
I don't know the exact dates on all of those, so I don't know.
So
it was
if the
3
match at the
months
beginning
or 2
of
months.
April, so March, February, January. He didn't play in January at all. So in 2 months, he played 5 starts, which is clearly more than what he's been playing now, but not by much, because he plays a major, which is
going
once a month.
up to the Masters though. He did WGC Mexico and then took a week off, played the Players, then played match play, and then went to the Masters. Like that was a pretty quite a bit of playing before the Masters.
No, you're missing events between there though. There was
No, I'm not saying those were consecutive, like week after week after week, but like that was like played a tournament, week break, played a tournament, week break, Masters. Like there was consistent playing.
No, because you're skipping Honda and Bay Hill back to back. That's a 2-week gap.
Regardless, it's quite a bit more playing than what he's doing now.
But there's only 4 weeks between majors right now. And he played the Memorial, which is giving him
too nitty and gritty. All I'm saying is he needs to be playing. He needs to be playing more. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't think he's playing enough.
I don't necessarily disagree with the fact that going over and playing the Irish Open before the Open that's taking place in Northern Ireland is a bad idea. Like it's not a bad idea. It's
if his body's not good for him, like he can't play 2 weeks in a row. Like people don't want to say that, but why else wouldn't he be doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want him to push it. Obviously, like I don't mind the idea of him playing the week before. Like
I just think all these people want him to go win tournaments.
You know what?
And
sorry, so Frankie played the Quicken Loans, which is 3 weeks before the Open, and won it, and then won the Open. Maybe that's the right window. Like, give yourself 2 weeks off before the major, right? So
regardless, going major and then your next start is another major, I just think is not the way to go. But
yeah.
What do I know? I'm just a kid doing a podcast.
Yeah, but I mean, this is part of it. So
Yeah.
it's trying to figure out what's. I mean, you're trying for a guy that you don't like, you're trying to figure out the best method for him to win. So I mean, this is admirable that you're even doing that.
I just think that the logic is flawed. I think he's an idiot for doing what he's doing, unless he knows something that the general public doesn't know, like his body's
Dude,
fucking
you know what
up.
the chances are? He probably does.
Yeah, exactly. And I just.
But I don't think it's a body thing. There's probably something that we don't know.
What is it?
Who's to say that like training a different way doesn't yield better results?
I think that the competitive reps mean more than fucking doing it. What else could he be doing that's going to prepare him better?
But Tiger's kind of statistically always played a very limited schedule in general. Like, even when he was in his prime, he was never playing a bunch of events. He was just winning a bunch of events.
I'm going to go back to it's so fresh that it's stale line for that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this all started with you asking me, like, what do you think? How do I think Tiger's going to do there? And I don't have a whole lot of reason to doubt him. I think I personally just think I don't have anything negative to say about Tiger in going to this. I don't have a lot of doubt. I just have a lot more confidence in other people right now. So it's not that I don't think Tiger can't do well there. I think he could. He did well at Carnoustie. I would argue that he had a better chance of closing that out than he did Bellerive, even though he technically got closer to winning at Bellerive than he did at Carnoustie. I don't think he's going to win. I think that he's a bad choice for betting. He always is a bad choice for betting because Vegas is always hedging their bets with that. I hope that he wins. I hope that he does it, but I have way more confidence in Brooks, Rory, Schauffele, Ricky. I have the same amount of confidence in Tiger winning as I do Spieth right now. But you were saying that this is Spieth's best major to win right now. Like you had more confidence in Spieth winning this one than any of the other ones. You're like, he's gonna be ready by this
besides
point.
the Masters, but
yeah, but we were talking about it after the Masters. It was like you don't like Spieth for you didn't like Spieth for Pebble. You didn't think he'd be ready for it. You thought he wouldn't be ready until now. Do you think he's ready now, or do you think this is just his best shot?
I think it's his best shot. I don't think.
He hasn't really
Jordan's
played
gonna
that
win.
much either.
No, I don't think Jordan's gonna win.
It feels like a lot of people have been quiet recently. You're not seeing a whole lot from very many people right now. I don't know if that's just how this schedule has lent itself. The accelerated nature of the majors right now is great, while at the same time
Jordan
being
has
very
played
frustrating.
the Travelers since the U.S. Open.
Yeah, and that's because he won it recently, the year before last. He won in 2017, I think. So, yeah, I have him and Tiger around the same confidence level. Vegas has them very similar in odds. So that kind of makes sense. I'm looking forward to seeing a different mix of people in contention. We saw that a little bit at the U.S. Open with Pebble, with how short it was, but
I mean, Brooks will be playing the Travelers and the 3M since the U.S. Open.
so 2 events.
Yeah, and then he'll probably take this week off. And then
But I mean, that's half the tournaments that are between then and now, isn't it? You have the Quicken Loans, the Travelers,
he didn't play Detroit.
which was Rocket Mortgage Quicken Loans, right?
Yes, I believe so.
So we had 3M, we had Travelers, Rocket Mortgage Quicken Loans, and then whatever next week is.
Yeah, I'm not sure what next week is.
And then the following week is Barbasol at the same time as I don't know. Is it? Oh, it might be a WGC.
You know what Wolf should do is go play fucking Barbasol while the Open's going on and win that bitch too.
You know what your issue is that I think the next week, God, we're so underprepared for our podcast. I think next week is a WGC and Tiger will play that. I think it's WG Memphis. So underprepared.
I mean, this
You guys
was
come
on
to
a
us for our
whim.
knowledge.
And anyone who's actually listening at this point, we're an hour and 10 minutes in.
Holy shit.
They're in it for the haul anyways. So it's all good. John Deere Classic. I don't think he's playing it.
Holy shit. How am I? Dude, every single thing I say is making me less confident in my own abilities to know things.
John Deere Classic, some do call it the 5th major. So
Yeah, that's true.
not many at all, but some.
The John Deere.
Yeah, I don't think Tiger's playing it.
Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it just makes sense for them to make a WGC before major. I've taken some shots out in the dark on this podcast today, and I've been wrong about a lot of them.
That's all right, man.
I don't
At
pretend
least
to be
you're
all
shooting.
knowing, but you gotta take some shots for the audience. And this isn't my finest hour. You gotta keep them coming though. So if they're false, they're false. It also doesn't help that I have nothing to research things on in front of me right now. And we came fresh off of a win right now for Wolf Emergency Podcast, and we turned it into an open one after.
Yeah. But, I mean, with all that being said, I think Tiger should be playing more, but that's just me. But I don't really give a shit. He can go and lose tournaments.
So talk through some of your picks though. So
Like the picks we picked, or just
yeah.
I picked my boy Rick, Kuchar, and Grace.
Besides the fact that you just have like infatuation with Rick, what parts of his game do you think lend himself to?
I mean, obviously, he can flight the ball well. He can shape the ball both ways. He plays well in adverse conditions. The harder the conditions, the better he plays against the field, I think. And, normally in the Open, the wind's going to be blowing. It could be raining, especially in Ireland. Who the fuck knows what the weather's going to be doing? And I think that's when Ricky thrives. Like, throw let Mother Nature throw fucking whatever she can at the field, and he's going to be the guy that's over there just with his umbrella and walking up the fairway like calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah.
So I think that's where, you know, where he'll thrive, you know, if you know, the weather comes out. But you know, those are just some of the reasons I like Ricky at this course. I mean, I don't think he's ever played it, but we'll see. But
I'll talk through my top pick. I think it's pretty easy to talk. I think it's easy to sell someone Rory on this, except for a couple people out there. But Rory is obviously statistically the best golfer in the world right now. He has the highest stroke gained against the field right now. He is either top fiving or winning tournaments right now, pretty much, except for majors. Damn it, Rory. I know this is a major, but I think it should be said that he's still playing phenomenal golf. He's from Northern Ireland. He's not unfamiliar to links golf. He's been there early practicing for it. While he hasn't been getting his reps in, like some people apparently need to get, he's been getting his time in at Portrush, which is important. Whether Tiger's doing that or not, who knows? I have no idea. He doesn't really talk too much on social media.
I think we would definitely be seeing it on social media if he was.
Fair enough.
Because he was doing that at the PGA Championship, and they were showing it.
But that's because he showed up in his fucking yacht.
You don't think he sailed his yacht across the motherfucking Atlantic?
No, he took his private jet.
I know, I'm kidding.
But, you know, he's obviously from the surrounding area, and he holds the course record as like a fucking 14-year-old there. That was also on social media. I don't know if that's actually true or not, so let me preface it by saying asterisk. Someone look that up if that's true.
I think that's true, but I think the course has been redone since that.
Yeah, it has. It experience changes since then.
Yeah.
But his track record at the Open recently has been phenomenal. Solo second last year. He got T3rd the year before that, or T4th. I think he actually got T4th the following year after that. And then he got a T5th, and then he had a hurt ankle because he was playing soccer, and he missed that Open. The year before that, he won. So he has a pretty fantastic history with the Open, despite some people's notions of him being just very much like a wet, soggy conditions kind of player, which I've said in the past. But at the end of the day, like, he's still a phenomenal golfer, possibly the most gifted golfer on the planet. He's more than capable of getting it done here. I think there's just so many things that play into his hand, and he's an easy person to talk yourself into betting on.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think he's
here.
Are we going to talk about our other guys or just?
Yeah, let's go down the list.
All right. Well, obviously I had Rick as first, and then I got Kuchar. I went with Kuchar over Graham McDowell for that pick, and I did that because Cooch has had a great year. I think he has 3 wins this year. 2. 3 wins.
I think technically this season he's had 3 wins.
3 wins. And he's just a consistent guy. You know, he's gonna hit fairways. He's gonna play. I think he's just gonna be in the mix. And I mean, the 2 years ago against Spieth, like, he was right there, could have won it. He's just always in the mix, and I think he's going to win a major soon. He has to win one soon, otherwise his time's going to run out. But I think he'll get it done at some point, and I think the Open is probably one of his better chances.
The guys that don't hit it as long, those are usually the better places for them.
But he was also in the mix at
He's extremely patient. If there's anything I can say about Kuchar, he's very patient. He's pretty good at staying calm. I think he's very Ricky-esque in that sense, that he's one of those guys that will just trudge his way around a course and just continue. Like, you'll never think he's in it.
It feels like he's never too worried about like, if someone's in front of him, he's not too worried about keeping up with them. He's just going to keep playing his
like,
game.
We'll eventually get back to the same destination. You'll take your way, I'll take mine. I'll see you at the finish line. So I totally understand that pick. I don't think he's a terrible. I was looking at his name too in that. I think he's got something similar in the same way that he has these benefits that Ricky has as well, whether it's their calm demeanor and it's the way they handle themselves out on the course. I think he has the same detriment that Ricky has, and I just don't think either of them have that extremely passionate fire to, like, kick it into redlining it high gear, just fucking pedal to the metal, like let's get this shit done, that I think prevents them to crossing that finish line before everybody else. And that's why I kind of go for these guys that I think have a remarkably higher ceilings. So while I didn't choose Rom, but someone like Rom, like I can see them like
yeah, but
if
we're
he
also
explodes,
playing like a best ball over.
that's
4
true. So that's a
rounds.
strategic thing that you
Yeah.
could have done. I absolutely agree. And I know I've said it in the past on the podcast as well that like Rom's fire might be a detriment to him, but I do think that it is the reason he gets wins.
I mean, we weren't picking winners. We're picking for
the middle ground
Yeah.
here. Yeah, of course. But I was just trying to show the counter example as someone who does have that passion and that fire that has propelled them to a win before. So as far as like high ceilings and people that I think can get it done, that's why I chose Tony Finau. I know he hasn't won besides one opposite event as a major, but he does statistically do really well in majors. He's just a birdie machine. He'll also get some big numbers every once in a while. He strikes me as the kind of guy that I think will do well there. I'm not exactly sure why. I just think I think it's mostly because he has such a short swing that like the flight doesn't really reach towering apexes, and he doesn't strike me as a guy who can really get too creative. He's kind of a guy that has a game plan, sticks to it, and then if it form fits to a course, awesome. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I think it's going to be suited well for this course, and I think he has the resilience to handle when the conditions get tough and the weather gets unpredictable.
Okay. I kind of do not like that pick.
Tony Finau?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me why.
Just I don't know. I just I just don't think that. See, like I think the Open Championship is probably the least likely of the majors that Tony Finau would win. I think he's more of a U.S. Open, PGA Championship kind of guy.
Okay.
Like I think I'm not saying he can't play links golf. I'm not saying that. Like I'm sure he can flight his ball and do.
And I'm not trying to like trap you into like being wrong here and like that, but can you pull up his Carnoustie? I actually don't remember what he got there.
I don't know either, but
I know
yeah,
Schauffele was in the mix there, and I kind of think of them as like I had similar trajectories for them in my head when they both came out on tour, and Schauffele clearly like has vastly outperformed Tony Finau in that extent. But they had similar.
And Roy didn't solo second. It was a tie with him, Kisner, Schauffele, and Rose last year. Just to let you know. I didn't know that. I just literally saw it. But Finau tied T9 last year.
Okay, so he did pretty well.
Yeah, he did well. And I also preface saying that I didn't. Yeah.
I remember him doing okay, but I didn't want to like be like, hey, you got a top 10.
I just said I think it's the least likely that he would win this one out of. I think he'd more likely get a PGA or a
now.
US
Do you
Open.
think? Now, saying that, do you think he's just really likely to win those other ones at some point, or you think that
Not really likely. I think.
so? You
that,
do think
I
it's unlikely that he'll win this major?
This
Like,
major?
You think it? So
Like at Portrush.
would
That's
you
what we're talking
if
about.
I gave you a bet, and I don't feel like this kind of answers my own question, but I don't feel confident taking this bet. But like, would you do a $20 bet for Tony Finau winning the Open by the age of 50?
Like, which side of the bet am I on?
Like against, he won't win it.
So if he does do it by the age of 50,
You would give me 20
I
bucks.
will give you $20, and if he doesn't,
I don't want to do this bet because that's such a long time. But I'm just asking, like, in the sense, like, it's just to illustrate
I would
a
take
point.
that bet just because the money's not. That's not very much money.
Okay,
But
that's not the point I'm trying to make, though. The point I'm trying to make is that like you think this is the least likely when he's going to win. So without saying he's going to get a Grand Slam, like that's the point. Is like he won't ever get this one then.
I'm not saying he won't ever do it, but I think it's the least likely out of the 4 majors.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I get that. That's like a difficult thing to like pin someone down to saying.
Yeah. And I mean, it could be his first one he wins. I don't fucking know, but I'm just saying what I think.
Yeah. And I mean, and he's just gotten top 5s at pretty much all of them, so it's like hard to say like he's not going to do it at any other ones either. Yeah, I almost kind of
I just
agree.
don't know if he's a closer. He hasn't shown that he's a closer. He's like Rick in that regard.
Yeah.
Except Rick does have some more tournament wins than him.
Been on tour twice as long, but Rick has had more wins since he started, since when Tony started. Like,
Yeah.
so I agree with all those things. And like I said, we're also talking about this game, and we're not talking about who's going to win it. Like,
Yeah.
he's a birdie machine. He's going to get a best ball for my team. So he's usually pretty solid in that part. But I wasn't strictly choosing people because of this game. I was also choosing people I just thought were going to play well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I'll hop into my third one, which I'm pausing because it's Kisner. Yeah, we both know why Kisner is a good choice for this tournament. He doesn't hit super long, but he plays his own game, as we've said about with Finau. That I like.
Putter,
he's
too.
a good putter. I think he's even said himself that the most likely one that he's gonna win would be the Open. So it makes sense. I think he's a great bunker player. I think he's good at kind of thinking his way around a course. He's pretty good at being creative with how he approaches the game. He's accurate. He's going to avoid the trouble as best he can. His ball flight is good for wind. And he strikes me as the kind of guy that won't be fazed by other players or by the weather. He'll just kind of be like, this is what I get. This is what I get. Like, he's not going to like feel sorry for himself. Mm-hmm. So, when you get that far down the list of players, you start looking for personality traits and character traits that you think will give someone a chance to play well, and whether it's in streaks or across the whole board. So I don't need to convince you why Kisner's a good pick because you're going to choose him.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Kisner, and I agree with everything you said. My third guy is Brendan Grace. He's a South African, for those of you that don't know that term. It's a very common term.
God, you better hope that's not like actually like a term that's like a negative one. That like he just called them like the worst thing you could call someone.
It's all in good fun, folks. Anyways, I know a South African that I call a Sauk, and he has nothing wrong with it. Anyways.
That's like the clip like, I've got a black friend, guys. It's okay. It's okay. I know a gay guy. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah.
Anyways, I don't really have a great reason that I picked him. I know he's done well in the Opens in the past. I think he shot the course record at whatever the course was that Spieth won at.
Yeah. Royal
Birkdale, yes.
Did he shoot the course record?
I think he tied it.
I do. I feel like I remember that too.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he can play links golf well, and whenever you took Kisner, that was the name that stood out to me, so that's why I went with him. And he's been playing decent golf lately. I think I've seen his name on the leaderboards a bit, so that's why I went with him.
We didn't take any non-PGA Tour pros. Now, thinking back though, like European Tour players play more links golf than PGA Tour players. I'm surprised we didn't go with Matthew Fitzpatrick or Thomas Peters or Thorne Olesen.
I saw their names. I have more confidence in the guys I pick.
Now, is that just because we're exposed to them more? Or is that because we think PGA Tour players are just better and they can figure out a links course fast enough if they need to?
Option B.
Yeah.
I think that they're better.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I mean, clearly, like, just looking at the previous majors, like, PGA Tour players are the ones that are winning them. Like, Molinari is was a blend sort of at the time, but he's very much a PGA Tour player now. And
I think Molinari is going to slowly go into a valley. Like, we're not going to see much of him.
Well, he's on the older side, and he was very much taking advantage of his peak
hot
when
streak.
his hot streak, and I wouldn't count him out, to use your vernacular.
I wouldn't count him out either. I just think I think he's hopping off the train, and he's gonna go on vacation, and we're not gonna see him for a while.
For a while. So if it's a vacation, he's coming back, or is he retiring from?
No, he might come back for a tournament or two.
You don't think
sometime
you don't think
in
we've
the
seen his
future.
last win?
I don't think we've seen his last win, but I think he might not see. He might have 2 or 3 more wins. I don't know, but I don't think.
Because I mean, if we're in the grand scheme of things, Bay Hill wasn't that long ago.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Like, he won recently, but I think that he is hopping off the train.
Yeah, that feels a little too recency bias for me. Like, he just didn't get it done. We had him at a caliber of Brooks. Like, he was there at the Masters. He was going to be the guy that was ice cold.
I have never had the mole at a caliber of Brooks.
Are you kidding me? You weren't afraid of the mole at the Masters? He didn't bogey for the first fucking 3 rounds.
I've never had the mole at the caliber of Brooks. The mole has been riding a hot streak for a year.
I will say on this podcast that when we were watching the Masters this year, I for sure thought of Mole as possibly the most dominant player on the planet. That's so easy to laugh at in retrospect, but like,
I know. I remember you saying that during that time.
because he was. He
You
was.
can say that, but he just. I would never. I never held him to the same caliber as Brooks. No fucking way.
Dude, I'm not ready to write off the Mole.
I mean, dude, I had the mole on my fantasy team last year. Like, I got respect for the mole, but I'm just saying he was riding a hot streak.
Like, Brooks still he still only had 3 majors, and I get that that's
Only
3 majors.
3.
I know, but like he wasn't as off as he is now, obviously. Like, that we wouldn't be having this conversation if he wasn't, but like, he was insane, and I still think he can be. And like, the mole is my boy. But also, I truly think that like he was in the mix for so long, and then he broke through, and like you felt like he connected all these things together, and then he just started rattling off wins, and he was in contention everywhere. He just didn't get faced by anybody. He would never fucking bogey. And I think there's an argument to be said that like if you don't have those faltering moments and you just are always getting pars and birdies, that like that's fucking scary. Like it's like someone can get on a hot streak and win. Like anybody can do that, but the mole is just so fucking steady. And that's what's most compelling about his story, is that like, yeah, maybe his like he doesn't shoot a bunch of fucking 61s and 2s, but like he's gonna keep dropping fucking 68s all over your face every single fucking day, and just like
Damn.
like, and he'll do that to a win. Like
So you think he's going to be rattling off wins?
I mean, dude, he kind of did. Like, he won the Quicken, he won the Open, he won Bay Hill, and
That's it.
if it wasn't for the legendary collapse on fucking 12, that was his Masters to lose. Like, he had an abysmal Sunday at the Masters. He hit a damn pine cone. He almost came back if it weren't for the damn pine cone.
Dude, all I'm saying is the guy is hopped off the train.
No, this is what you're essentially doing to keep with the theme of this podcast. You sold your real estate on Mole Island.
I never had real estate on Mole
What do you
Island.
mean you pulled him on you picked him 3rd on your fantasy team?
Yeah, I had a lease.
I had a lease. I had a lease. You didn't have any real estate on Mole Island.
I had a lease, and it was nice while I had it, and, you know, my year lease was up, and I got off of that. Went on to bigger and better things.
Didn't even earn equity on his major wins. None of that stuff. Like, you just had a lease.
I earned a bunch from his major wins.
How do you do that with a lease? Or
it
did you
went
buy
into my
and sell?
fantasy team.
I'm just trying to keep this metaphor going. You can't lease something and then get money like as like a dividend, or when you cash in off, like when you sell your shares
Listen, bro,
or your property.
it worked out fine for me.
Was it a lease or did you own it?
I leased it.
Okay. I don't know how this fantasy real estate world works differently than this world.
It definitely does.
But as of right now, you don't own any real estate on Francesco Molinari Island.
I don't, but I respect the people who do.
Okay.
And I like the place. I leased a spot on it. Like, it's a nice place, but not a place I want to buy land. Not a place where I want to lay down and roll around a bit.
So do you think, so this is, as far as if someone doesn't own Frankie Molinari real estate or stock right now, what's your advice? Do they buy or sell?
Depends on how they.
I've got a new segment for this podcast, and we're gonna do it every week, and it's gonna be real estate corner. It's gonna be, and it's gonna be, we're gonna have a list of 5 guys, and it's gonna be buy or sell their real estate, and we'll check back.
I'd be selling real estate on Mole Island right now.
Really? So sell if you own,
because real estate's gonna be going down on Mole Island.
Okay.
It was at a high, and it's going down now.
Do you see it ever being a smart idea to buy again?
Yeah, when he hits a low bottom point, and he might be right before he gets his next win, which might be in a year or two.
So Dave's advice to all you guys out there looking for investments is try to buy at the low point and then like right before it starts to climb with a win. I'm going to try to tie you down to something more specific. Do you buy within the next year, or do you think it's going to be 2 years before you'd buy real estate again?
Wait a year to buy.
Wait a year to buy. Okay, that's something I'll hold you to. Wait a year to buy. We'll check back in before the next open. If Mole has 2 more wins since then, we can probably say that your real estate advice is garbage.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or even a win. I think even a win is enough to say that your real estate advice is garbage. Unless he like missed all cuts, made a win and missed all cuts again. But
hey, I still think Mole's going to be his moley self and, keep the bogues to a minimum, make a bunch of pars and some birds, and be his consistent self. But I don't think he's going to be rattling off wins like he was.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got property and you like it there, keep your property. But if you're looking to make a change, go ahead and sell. I think it's a good time to sell. If you're looking for a new place, come on over to Matthew Wolff neighborhood.
I mean, I think it's already it's not too late to buy Matthew Wolff, but it's kind of obvious now to buy Matthew Wolff.
I'm just saying,
but still, it's still. I mean, in the same sense, you should still buy Facebook stock now, guys. For real, the worst company ever. They're the worst. They suck, and maybe Elizabeth Warren breaks them up. Who knows if she wins? But big tech wins sometimes, guys. You gotta. They're still high as fuck, but they can still do more. The system rewards the big dogs. It's built for them. They got fucking lobbyists. Not to get too political too fast, but it's never too late to buy Wolff stock. It's never too late to buy real estate for Wolff. It's just bro, you're just late though. Okay, I've got more stock for you though. We can almost end because we're already pretty far along. We can end it with
an hour and 34 minutes in.
Okay, so I'll give you 4 rapid fire. Some choices for real estate or stock buying. Lashley, who just won the previous week, Monday qualified in as an alternate, won it, and
I'm not going with anything to do with him.
Okay, I don't know yet. Jury's out.
Yeah, probably won't ever get any real estate with him.
Hey, some people like wine country, some people like the mountains, some people like the beach. You're just saying
that's not my vibe.
Yeah, it's not my vibe. It's not my vibe.
I'm not a middle America kind of guy.
Oh, okay. Most of the mountains are in the middle of America, but
I'm not talking about middle America. I'm talking about cornfields.
Yeah, like Nebraska and
Iowa, and
shit
like that.
Fair enough. Okay, really just kind of ostracizing that demographic. If they're like, what if the entire contingency
of listening
guys,
to this podcast is stuff called oceans and lakes and stuff venture out of the middle of the country. See what the rest of the country's got to offer for you.
You look at your view count for the podcast after this huge dip. You look at your demographics oh fuck, we had a huge Nebraska contingency. Sorry guys. No, okay. So I got another one for you. So Phil Mickelson.
Sell. Yeah.
So yeah, he's done. The Fig is done.
I think he might rattle off a couple more wins before he retires, but
yeah, but since every house in there's like 1.5 million, it's just don't
there's
buy.
lots of people in on Phil Island or Phil City at this point.
But what if they swallow up like a neighboring town? Like, what if they do some aggressive expansion? That's 2 Dark Knight quotes in this so far, guys. So,
I don't own any property in Phil Country probably at this point.
Philandia.
Yeah, Philandia. Anyways, I haven't. I was real late to. I've visited, but
I mean, it was kind of like
it was
Disney World was already built before we were born. Like,
yeah, like I have nothing to say, but I would say if you do have property and you got it early, and you're probably gonna make some money.
Yeah, I mean,
so
congrats.
go ahead and sell now. Get it while
But then
it's
again,
high.
like it was almost impossible to get in on Phil early because he won as an amateur.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But either way, yeah, I'd be selling Phil stock / land, whatever you want to say, or just sit on it. If you like it there and you've been there a long time, stay. There's nothing wrong with that.
All right, Patrick Cantlay.
I would be, I wouldn't be buying Cantlay land, but if you want to, go ahead. I would recommend it if he's, you like that area of the country.
So what do you think is Cantlay land? What do you think is where do you think, like, if you had to give, he's from California, but like where do you think it actually is in your head? Like, what is Cantlay land?
Look like?
Yeah, you could go anywhere in the world, but like
I think that it's just pretty not very exciting.
So to me, because he takes so long to hit a shot, it's kind of like everything, like a lot of life is slowed down there. So like if you're visiting like
I think of him
island
as
vibe,
pretty much middle America.
Okay. All right. So so your take, God, this is going.
It might be like some northern middle America, maybe like Minnesota or like Utah or something. Like it might be kind of scenic, but like
you don't have to take your own. You don't. Okay. So you don't have to take your own advice, but buy or it's. I'm gonna hold you to a dichotomy: buy or sell Cantlay.
So are we coming as a person that doesn't? Well, it's weird because you either have land or you don't. Like coming from a person that is looking for land, might not have any. Like Cantlay could be a good option, but if you already own Cantlay,
this is a great question. So it's like, who is this buyer? Who are we talking to? Like everyone's different. So it's like, what's your portfolio look like? How much money do you make a year? Like, what can you afford? What kind of mortgage can you have? What's your credit like? It's kind of those questions. Is like, if you're just trying to get into a nice 4-bedroom home or 3-bedroom home, you're looking to start a family eventually. Like maybe Cantlay Island's the right place for you. But the question is, would you recommend? Like, would you in good conscience tell a family if they like the area, like, your home will appreciate there, you should buy Cantlay land, or don't buy Cantlay land? That's the question. It's not about you.
Yeah, I think if that's what we're talking about, I think that you should buy Cantlay land.
Okay, so it's a buy on Cantlay.
Yeah.
I think we have to keep that simplicity to it, because if we get into like, so what's your what's the whole home take income for the year, and how many kids you got? What kind of schools do they need? Education system it's okay in Cantlay land, but it's not the best. It's not Bryson DeChambeau Island. They got great education facilities there. Right away, Bryson. I mean, he almost won today. Do you buy or sell Bryson?
I think you fucking buy Bryson.
Homes are already pretty expensive there. He's pretty rated.
Well, I mean, people don't drive cars at Bryson Land. The cars drive themselves there. They also can levitate. There aren't wheels on them.
That's impressive. That's quite the advanced civilization they got over there.
Yeah, they have like their billboards, their screens, and it's Bryson talking to you.
They have billboards there?
Well, they're actually huge LCD screens.
Yeah. He is super into advertisements. Those Bridgestone ads with him and Tiger are terrible. Okay, so I gave you a few. We'll end with one last one. I actually got 3 last ones. We'll make them quick though. We'll be
I
right
don't know how much video is left on the camera, so we got to wrap it up.
Okay. Shoffley Island.
I think bye.
By Shoffley Island. Fair enough. That's easy. That's quick. Spieth Island.
That's a tough one. I
It's
want to say
fucking-
bye,
It's expensive. It's still expensive.
but it's been going down.
Yeah, it's been going down.
I think it's a good time to buy.
But the fact that his putter got hot, like they
think-
just opened a water park there.
I think it's a good time to buy Spieth
Yeah.
property.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I can appreciate that. Like they got hit by a storm, like that
Yeah,
island
like
got hit by a hurricane.
hit.
But they've been rebuilt. They're rebuilding.
Yeah,
But-
they're the people there. They're
But there's some foreclosures.
Adverse.
There's some foreclosures to pick up on. If you can find a good.
if you can find a good deal, buy it.
Well, that's what we're here for. We're trying to find them the good deals. All right, last one, final one. The very best buddy, the best buddy of Spieth, JT Island. They
I'm
also
gonna try to keep
experienced-
my bias aside.
They got hit by a tornado as well. There the wrist, the rotation of the wrist. It's the rotation of the cyclone.
I personally wouldn't be buying any land in JT Island, but bias aside, I don't think it's a bad investment. But I'd rather go buy land at Spieth Island.
So, all right, here we go. We've got a home that's $1 million in Cantley land.
Uh-huh.
How much is that home worth? The exact same home, the same guts, the same glorious pool in the backyard
Uh-huh.
in JT land.
Just right now,
Yeah, right now.
about the same.
Okay. And then how much is that house worth in Jordan Spieth land?
I want to say a little bit more.
Just thrilling shit. Let's get a number for you, Dave.
1.15.
It is 1%, 1.5% better.
Dude, I'm just saying.
Right? No, that's 10. That's 10.
All
That's
right,
15%.
we're getting really deep into the real estate talk, and this is a golf podcast, so I'm gonna go ahead and say we're gonna wrap things up, guys. We're probably gonna get back to you at while we're in Royal Portrush. Maybe go watch a practice round or something, and we'll do a short podcast out there, after we've seen some stuff, and maybe give some better takes on who's looking good and whatnot. But yeah, anyone who's stuck through this,
Yeah, thank you for
fucking-
sticking this one out.
Yeah,
this one
is
was
a long one. Lots of just bold jivery going back and forth between us. But yeah, thanks a lot for listening, and fuck yeah, Matty Wolff.